And as for you, my fine lady, it's true, I can't attend you here and now as I'd like. But just try to stay out of my way. Just try. I'll get you, my pretty, and your little dog, too.
We are counting down the top 100 movies of all time, and I think we have arrived at our oldest film on this list.
For sure,
it is
without a
The
doubt.
Wizard of Oz from Victor Fleming, starring Judy Garland, and it's in at number 55. What a classic.
Yeah, you're crediting Victor Fleming as the director, and he probably doesn't get enough credit for the work that he did on this thing. It's really L. Frank Baum, who is from close to where I grew up in upstate New York, Chenango, New York.
Right.
Where all of these magical lands and the land of Oz and the wizard and the munchkins.
So-
Yeah, apparently there was a lot of peyote in the hills up above where I grew up.
How about a little fire, Scarecrow? Crow?
Everybody remembers where they were the first time they saw The Wizard of Oz. I was in Florida visiting my Uncle Harry. May he rest in peace. It came on TV. My mom turned it on. My brother and I just sat down. Jaws were hanging open. I mean, you could have just thrown like fish into our mouths. We wouldn't have cared. Arr!
Yeah, I mean, it's still a beautiful masterwork of a film. It stood the test of time. It was 1939 that this movie came out.
It's a musical. I hate musicals. This is the only musical I... You like Singing in the Rain.
I love Singing in the Rain, but this is much more than just a musical. I mean, there's some really cool, deep fantasy elements in this thing.
Some
We've got
special effects
We've
that
got
are really
some great
special.
special effects. We've got twisters and witches and munchkins and monkeys with wings. There's some spooky qualities to this. There's some absolutely adorable charm to this with the Tin Man and the Scarecrow.
I'm not afraid of anything. Except a lighted match.
I don't blame you for that.
Ray Bolger's performance of the Scarecrow, I mean, that's If I Only Had a Brain is one of my favorite tunes still because of him, you know? And I love all of the dance sequences, and Judy Garland, she was a hurricane, man. She was an unbelievable, just this kid with this amount of gravity and this amount of presence on screen.
He really must be a wonderful wizard to live in a city like that.
Well, come on, then. What are we waiting for?
This talent, I mean, this was something to witness.
Well, it's hard to imagine going back to the late 1930s. I mean, you're seeing the country sort of get over the Great Depression and put prohibition behind it. And movies were still very crude back then. I mean, movies had been silent up until that point. Movies had been black and white up until that point. And then to have this new technology called Technicolor being brought to bear here in this film, I mean, to see the yellow of the yellow brick road for the first time for moviegoers, must have just blown their hats clean off.
Yeah, and color must have played a huge part in the reason why this movie was funded. It looks like, for the time, no expense was spared to build something this fantastical, but there are huge color prominent pieces within this movie, but because of it, that richness, that lushness, and that disparate kind of quality between the black and white of Kansas to the crazy ethereal colors of Oz, this movie will never disappear. This movie will remain a favorite for generations to come.
Melody! Oh, what a world, what a world!
It's incredible what they've accomplished here. I mean, this is really a masterpiece.
Well, it is, because it works as a musical. It works as just something to enjoy the beautiful theme. I mean, Somewhere Over the Rainbow.
It's another road picture.
It's gorgeous. It's a road picture. It's also alternate universes. It's fantasy of the highest order. There's a reason why this has become such an important piece of our culture.
Yeah, you know, it's always, for some reason, in my mind, this ongoing, perpetual battle between The Sound of Music and Wizard of Oz. And Wizard of Oz just kicks The Sound of Music's ass all over the place.
That's the only place that we've ever had that discussion.
Yeah, what a versus on the show. Sound of Music versus Wizard of Oz.
And I still love Singing in the Rain. I mean, if we're talking about musicals, those are incredible.
Do that as a series, legendary versus.
That'd be all right.
Yeah, how about that? But Wizard of Oz from 1939.
Wow.
Congratulations on being a billion years old. I mean, it seems like a long time. It's a long time ago.
Probably the oldest on this list for sure. Number 55, and holy crap, do we love that movie.